Have you ever wondered what truly connects us all? Deep within the core of your very being, inside every single cell of your body, lies a secret language. This is the language of your DNA. It is a beautiful and intricate tapestry woven from chemical threads. These threads form families, little communities of chemistry that work together in perfect harmony. We can call these families the codon rings. They are not just abstract scientific concepts, they are living, breathing aspects of who you are. Each ring is a circle of energy, a cluster of genetic codes that has a specific purpose and holds a particular kind of wisdom for you to unlock and embody in your life. Think of your body as a grand orchestra. Every instrument has its part to play, and when they all play together, they create a magnificent symphony. The codon rings are like the different sections of this orchestra: the strings, the woodwinds, the brass. Each one has its own unique sound, its own texture, and its own feeling. They are the chemical families that govern the creation of amino acids, the fundamental building blocks of life itself. These rings are therefore the master controllers of your physical form, but their influence extends far beyond the purely biological, reaching into the very heart of your consciousness and your destiny. These chemical families are constantly communicating with each other. They are in a perpetual dance, a flow of information that shapes your health, your thoughts, and your feelings. When you feel a surge of joy, that is a chemical conversation happening inside you. When you feel a pang of sadness, that too is a message being passed between these inner families. By beginning to understand these codon rings, we begin to understand ourselves on a much deeper level. We are not just a collection of random parts. We are a unified, intelligent system, a cosmos within a cosmos. And these rings are the keys to exploring our inner universe. So let us begin this journey together. Let us gently peel back the layers and look at the profound mystery encoded in our genes. This is not about complex science that requires a degree to understand. This is about your life. It is about your relationships, your purpose, and your connection to the whole. The codon rings are a map, a guide left for us by the universe itself. They show us the path from who we think we are to who we are truly destined to become. This is a journey of self-illumination, and it begins with a single, simple step into the world of your own DNA. Within the vast landscape of our genetic makeup, there are exactly 22 of these sacred groupings, these codon rings. This number is not an accident. It resonates with many mystical systems throughout human history, from the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet to the 22 major arcana of the tarot. Each of the 22 codon rings is connected to a specific amino acid, or in some cases, it acts as a signal to start or stop a genetic process. These rings are the architects of our physical bodies, meticulously building the proteins that allow us to live, breathe, and experience the world around us. They are the master weavers of the fabric of life itself. Imagine each codon ring as a unique key. Each key unlocks a different door within your consciousness. There is a key for love, a key for suffering, a key for prosperity, and a key for purpose. By contemplating these 22 chemical families, we begin to see how they govern the great themes of the human drama. They are the underlying patterns behind all our stories and all our myths. Your personal genetic profile shows which of these keys are most prominent in your life, highlighting the specific lessons and gifts that you are here to explore. This understanding moves us beyond seeing ourselves as victims of our genetics and into a new role as co-creators with our DNA. These 22 rings are grouped into larger families as well, creating a beautiful symmetry within our biology. They show us that life is not random but is based on an elegant and ordered design. For example, some rings are connected to the fire of life, the drive to manifest and create. Others are connected to the water of life, the deep currents of our emotional world and our need for connection. By learning about these larger groupings, we can start to see the bigger picture of our own life journey. We can see how different aspects of our nature are designed to work together in harmony, creating a whole and integrated human being. This is a new way of looking at ourselves. We are not just our minds or our bodies. We are a synthesis of starlight, chemistry, and consciousness. The 22 codon rings provide a practical framework for this grand exploration. They invite us to look at our challenges not as flaws, but as gateways to a higher state of being. They ask us to embrace our gifts not with pride, but with humility and a desire to serve the greater whole. The 22 keys are waiting for you. They are waiting to be turned, to unlock the doors to your own inner magnificence and reveal the genius that lies dormant within you. The influence of the codon rings extends far beyond our individual biology. It shapes the very fabric of our societies and relationships. Because we all share the same 22 chemical families, we are all deeply interconnected at a genetic level. We are all playing different notes in the same grand symphony. When you meet someone and feel an instant connection, a sense of knowing them from somewhere before, you are experiencing a resonance between your codon rings. Your chemistries are speaking to each other, recognizing a shared frequency or a complementary pattern. This is the hidden architecture behind human attraction and connection. These genetic frequencies are what draw us into families, communities, and even entire cultures. A group of people with a similar emphasis in their codon rings will naturally gravitate towards each other. They will share similar values, face similar challenges, and possess similar gifts. This is why we see certain archetypal themes playing out in different parts of the world. Some cultures might be deeply connected to the codon rings of logic and order, building highly structured societies. Others might resonate more with the rings of emotion and spirit, creating cultures rich in art, music, and mystical tradition. We are all part of this beautiful, diverse human tapestry. However, this genetic resonance can also be the source of our greatest challenges. When we encounter someone whose codon rings activate our deepest wounds or shadows, it can lead to conflict, misunderstanding, and judgment. We often project our own unresolved genetic patterns onto others, blaming them for the discomfort we feel inside. The great work for humanity at this time is to see beyond these differences. It is to recognize that every person we meet is a mirror, reflecting back to us a part of our own genetic inheritance. Every relationship offers us an opportunity to heal and integrate another piece of ourselves. By understanding the codon rings, we can bring a new level of compassion and awareness to our interactions. We can begin to see that the person who challenges us the most is often our greatest teacher. They are here to help us unlock a part of our DNA that we have kept hidden in the dark. In this way, all of human society becomes our classroom, and every relationship becomes a sacred practice. We are not separate beings struggling alone. We are one human family learning to harmonize our chemistries, to turn our conflicts into creativity, and to weave a new, more unified world together. The ancient concept of karma can be understood in a new and profound light through the lens of the codon rings. Karma is not a system of punishment and reward from some external force. It is a natural law of the universe, woven directly into our genetics. It is the echo of the past, held within our DNA. The choices, actions, and most importantly, the consciousness of our ancestors are passed down to us through our genes. These karmic patterns are encoded within the 64 gene keys, which are the building blocks of the codon rings. They represent the collective lessons that our lineage is here to learn and transcend over many generations. Each codon ring, therefore, holds a specific stream of collective karma. For example, one ring might carry the ancestral wound of betrayal, while another carries the karma of poverty or victimhood. When we are born, our genetic profile activates certain of these karmic patterns. These become the core challenges of our lives. They manifest as recurring situations, difficult relationships, or inner struggles that seem to follow us wherever we go. But these patterns are not a life sentence. They are an invitation. They are calling out for our attention, for our love, and for our awareness, so that they can finally be healed. When we approach our challenges with this understanding, everything changes. We stop seeing ourselves as flawed or unlucky and begin to see ourselves as healers. We realize that we have been given the perfect set of circumstances to resolve a piece of karma, not just for ourselves, but for our entire ancestral line. Every time you respond to a difficult situation with consciousness instead of reaction, with forgiveness instead of blame, you are literally reprogramming your DNA. You are transforming a shadow frequency into a gift. This is the true meaning of clearing karma. It is an act of profound service to the past and the future. This genetic understanding of karma ultimately leads us to a place of deep compassion. We see that everyone is carrying their own unique karmic load. The person who acts out in anger is often struggling with a deep ancestral wound of injustice. The person who is paralyzed by fear may be carrying the trauma of many generations. Through the codon rings, we see that we are all in this together. We are all working to untangle these ancient knots in the human story. Our individual healing is the healing of the whole, and as we free ourselves, we help to free all of humanity. Now, let us turn our focus to one of the most mysterious and powerful of all the 22 codon rings. This is the codon ring of no return. This chemical family is biochemically linked to the amino acid tyrosine. Tyrosine is fascinating because it is a precursor to several vital neurotransmitters, including dopamine, which relates to our drive and motivation, and adrenaline, which governs our fight-or-flight response. This ring holds a potent key to our evolution, a key that involves both leadership and the courage to stand in one's individual truth. It is a gateway that, once you pass through it, you can never go back to who you were before. This powerful ring is comprised of two specific gene keys, the 31st gene key and the 62nd gene key. The 31st gene key is the voice of leadership. It is the genetic imperative to influence others, to guide the collective towards a higher vision. The 62nd gene key is the voice of precision. It is the ability to use language with impeccable clarity and simplicity, to manifest thought into form through the power of the spoken word. Together, these two gene keys create a dynamic force. They represent the journey from arrogance to humility, and from intellectual complexity to the simple, profound power of facts and truth. The Ring of No Return is called this for a very specific reason. It governs a crucial evolutionary leap for a human being. It represents the moment when you align your inner world with your outer expression so completely that there is no turning back. This is the point where you begin to speak and live your authentic truth without compromise and without fear of what others may think. It is the moment you commit to your own higher purpose, stepping into a role of service and leadership, whether that is for your family, your community, or the world at large. This commitment changes your chemistry and your destiny forever. This codon ring holds a deep challenge and an even deeper gift. The shadow aspect of this ring is the misuse of influence, the desire for power, and the tendency to hide behind complicated language or intellectual pride. Many of us get stuck here, afraid to be truly seen and heard. But as we do our inner work and begin to embrace the gifts of this ring, we find the humility to lead with integrity and the clarity to speak with power. We cross a threshold in our own consciousness. We step through the gateway of the Ring of No Return, leaving behind our old self and embracing our true voice. The Codon Ring of No Return has a very special relationship with a specific energy center in the body, the throat center. In many spiritual traditions, the throat is seen as the bridge between our inner world and our outer world. It is the place where our thoughts, feelings, and intentions are translated into sound, into language, and into action. It is the sacred instrument through which we create our reality. Every word you speak is a vibration that goes out into the universe, shaping the world around you in subtle and profound ways. The throat is where the unmanifest becomes manifest. Human evolution is deeply connected to the development of this center. Our ability to communicate with complex language is what allowed us to form larger communities, to share knowledge across generations, and to build the civilizations we see today. The Codon Ring of No Return, with its gene keys of leadership, 31, and precision, 62, is at the very heart of this evolutionary process. It governs our capacity to use language not just for survival, but for creation. It is through the refined use of our voice that we can inspire others, articulate new possibilities, and literally speak a new world into being. Think about the power of a single, well-chosen word. A word can start a war, or it can bring about peace. A word can crush a person's spirit, or it can lift them up and inspire them to achieve greatness. This is the magic and the responsibility of the throat center. The Ring of No Return calls us to become masters of this instrument. It asks us to purify our intentions so that our words come from a place of love and service, not from the ego's desire for control. It challenges us to speak with such clarity and truth that our words resonate with the very heart of reality. As humanity continues to evolve, the throat center will play an even more crucial role. We are moving from an age of force and competition into an age of communication and collaboration. Our future depends on our ability to listen deeply to one another and to speak our truth with compassion and integrity. The Ring of No Return is a key to this future. It is a genetic pathway that, when activated, allows us to use our voice as a force for good in the world, to become true leaders who guide humanity forward not through command, but through the irresistible power of authentic expression. What does it truly mean to reach the point of no return? It is not a single dramatic event, but rather a profound inner shift that unfolds over time. It is the moment when the pressure to be your authentic self becomes greater than the fear of judgment or rejection. For a long time, we may live a life that is not fully our own. We may say yes when we mean no. We may hold back our true opinions to keep the peace. We may follow a career path or stay in a relationship because it is what is expected of us. We are living a life based on the shadows of the ring of no return, hiding, compromising, and lacking true influence. Then, something begins to stir within. A deep dissatisfaction arises. You begin to feel the hollowness of living an inauthentic life. This is the call of your higher self, the call of your DNA, urging you to evolve. You may start by speaking a small truth. Perhaps you finally tell a friend how you really feel, or you say no to a request that drains your energy. It might feel terrifying at first. Your heart might pound in your chest. This is the amino acid tyrosine at work, preparing your system for a courageous leap. You are activating the latent power within the ring of no return. Each time you choose to speak and act from this place of inner alignment, you strengthen the new neural pathways in your brain and the new chemical realities in your body. You are literally rewiring yourself for truth. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Eventually you reach a tipping point. The thought of going back to the old way of being, of hiding, pretending, and people-pleasing becomes completely unbearable. It feels like trying to squeeze back into clothes that are 10 sizes too small. You have crossed the threshold. This is the point of no return. You have committed to the path of your own truth. From this point forward, your life begins to transform in miraculous ways. The people, situations, and opportunities that are not in alignment with your true self begin to fall away, sometimes gently, sometimes with a crash. At the same time, your true soul family, your true purpose, and a new sense of inner peace begin to emerge. You are no longer trying to lead others through force or manipulation. Your leadership now comes from the simple, quiet power of your presence. You have become a living embodiment of your truth, and this is the most powerful influence you can have in the world. You have answered the call of the ring of no return. Let us look more closely at the two voices that make up this incredible codon ring. The first is the 31st gene key, the voice of true leadership. In its shadow state, this gene key manifests as arrogance. This is the person who believes they have all the answers, who seeks to control others and impose their will. They lead from a place of ego, driven by a need for recognition and power. We see this pattern everywhere in our world, in politics, in business, and even in families. But this is not true leadership. It is a cry for attention from a part of us that feels powerless. As we bring our awareness to this shadow, we begin the journey towards the gift of leadership. True leadership has nothing to do with having followers. It is about being an example. It is about living your life with such integrity and humility that others are naturally inspired by your presence. A true leader does not tell people what to do. They simply embody the future they wish to see. They serve the whole, not their own self-interest. They listen more than they speak. This is the quiet, dignified power that the 31st gift unlocks within us when we pass through the ring of no return. The second voice is the 62nd gene key, the voice of precision. Its shadow is intellect, but not in a positive sense. This is the shadow of overcomplication, of using complex language to hide a lack of real understanding or to make oneself appear superior. It is the voice that gets lost in meaningless details and misses the bigger picture. It is the academic who cannot explain their theory in simple terms, or the bureaucrat who creates endless rules that obscure common sense. This shadow cuts us off from our hearts and from our ability to communicate simply and effectively with others. The journey through this shadow leads to the extraordinary gift of precision. This is the ability to use language with magical effect. It is the power of finding the perfect word at the perfect time. A person with this gift can take a highly complex subject and explain it with such clarity and simplicity that anyone can understand. They build bridges of understanding with their words. They manifest their intentions into the world with effortless grace because their language is perfectly aligned with the facts of reality. When the humility of the 31st gift combines with the clarity of the 62nd gift, you have an unstoppable force for good in the world. As we draw this contemplation to a close, Let us zoom out and see the grand picture that the codon rings reveal to us. They show us that we are not separate, isolated beings. We are part of one single unified consciousness that is expressing itself through a beautiful diversity of genetic forms. Each of us is a unique note, a vital instrument in a cosmic symphony. The challenges we face, the karma we carry, and the gifts we are here to unlock are all part of this magnificent orchestra. There are no wrong notes, only opportunities to find a deeper harmony. The Ring of No Return, in particular, offers a profound message for humanity at this crossroads in our evolution. It tells us that the future of leadership is not about power, control, or hierarchy. The future of leadership is about authenticity. It is about each and every one of us finding the courage to speak our individual truth with love, precision, and humility. As more and more of us cross this inner threshold, we will begin to change the collective field. We will move from a society based on fear and competition to one based on trust and collaboration. Imagine a world where politicians speak with the precision of the 60-second gift and the humility of the 31st gift. Imagine businesses that are led by individuals who serve the good of the whole, not just their shareholders. Imagine families where every member feels safe to express their true feelings without fear of judgment. This is the world that the codon rings show is possible. It is not a distant utopia. It is a potential encoded within our very DNA, waiting to be activated by our consciousness. This is the great work of our time. So, be gentle with yourself on this journey. Understanding your own genetic map is a lifelong process of contemplation and embodiment. Let the wisdom of the codon rings seep into your being. Notice the patterns in your life, the challenges and the gifts. See them not as personal flaws or achievements, but as part of the great human story. Above all, listen for the call of your own truth. When you hear it, answer it with courage. For in doing so, you not only liberate yourself, but you play your part in the beautiful unfolding of our collective destiny, a symphony of unity for all.